1. Introduction. My name is Ella. I am 27 years old and I work in a big office in the city. My life is very simple and follows a routine. Every morning, I wake up at the same time, take the same crowded train to work, and sit at my desk for 8 hours. My job is not very exciting. I organize documents and write emails. My coworkers are friendly, but we mostly talk about work. After my day ends, I go home and my evenings are quiet. I often eat dinner alone and watch television. Each day is almost exactly like the day before. It is a safe life, but sometimes it feels empty. I often think that I want something more, something different. Then, one day, everything changed. A new manager started at our company. His name is Kane. He was completely different from anyone I knew. Kane is rich and very powerful. He wears expensive suits and has a confident way of walking. When he enters a room, people stop talking and look at him. He is also very charming. He has a warm smile and knows the right things to say to make people feel important. His arrival brought a new energy to our quiet office. He came to my desk to introduce himself on his first day. "Hello, I'm Kane," he said. His voice was deep and calm. He looked directly into my eyes when he spoke, and I felt my heart beat faster. There was an immediate connection, a strong pull that I did not understand. It was exciting, but also a little frightening. I tried to act normal and professional, but I could not stop thinking about him after he walked away from my desk. I soon learned that Kane thinks differently about the world. He believes that money is the most important thing. He thinks that with enough money, a person can buy anything they want. He even believes that money can buy a person's heart. This idea was very strange to me. I always thought that real love was something special that you could not buy. At that time, I did not know that his belief would soon change my life completely. I was not aware that my simple life was about to become a public scandal that everyone would talk about. 2. The first kiss. It was 6 o'clock in the evening. Everyone in the office was tired. People were putting on their coats and saying goodbye. I closed my computer and took my bag, ready for my quiet apartment. Just as I walked to the door, I heard a voice. "Ella, can you wait for a moment?" I turned. It was Kane, my new manager. He stood by the door of his glass office. "I need some help with the new project," he said. "It is important. Can you stay late?" My heart started to beat faster. My plans for the evening disappeared. "Yes, of course," I said, trying to sound calm. Soon, the big office was empty. All my coworkers were gone. It was just Kane and me. The room was very quiet. The only sound was the soft rain on the big windows. Outside, the city lights looked blurry. Inside, the office lights were low. It felt strange and a little exciting to be alone with him in the large, silent space. We worked for about 1 hour. I sat at my desk and showed him reports on my computer. He stood very close behind me, looking over my shoulder. I could feel his warmth and smell his expensive cologne. I tried to focus on the numbers on the screen, but it was very difficult. My mind was full of thoughts about him standing so near. Suddenly, he stopped talking about the project. He put his hand on my chair and turned it to face him. His dark eyes looked serious. "Ella," he said, and his voice was soft. "You are different from the other women I know." I looked up at him, surprised. "Different? How?" I asked. He smiled a little but did not answer. He just moved closer. Before I could think or say another word, he kissed me. His lips were soft and warm. The kiss was slow at first, then it became more powerful. For that one moment, I forgot everything. I forgot he was my boss and we were in the office. My mind went completely quiet. It felt wrong, but it also felt completely right. It was wrong because a manager should not kiss an employee, but it felt right because of the strong connection I felt. When the kiss ended, we stood in silence. The sound of the rain seemed much louder now. He looked at me for a long time, and I could not understand what he was thinking. I felt a little scared, but also happy. "It's late," I said quietly. "I should go home." He nodded slowly. "Yes, I will see you tomorrow, Ella." That night changed everything. I walked home in the rain, but I did not feel the cold. I only thought about his kiss. But I also had a strange feeling of worry in my heart. I felt that Cain had many secrets. He was hiding something big from me, and I was not sure if I wanted to know what it was. 3. A dangerous offer. A few days after our first kiss, Cain called me. He asked me to have dinner with him at a restaurant. His voice was confident and warm, and my heart started to beat fast again. I said yes. I was excited but also very nervous. That evening, Cain picked me up in a black, expensive car. He took me to a fancy restaurant in the center of the city. Everything inside was beautiful. The tables had white cloths and tall, thin candles. Soft music played in the background. I did not usually go to places like this. I felt a little out of place in my simple dress. Cain looked very handsome in a dark suit. He smiled at me, and I started to feel more comfortable. A waiter in a clean, white jacket brought us menus with leather covers. I could not understand the names of the dishes. Cain saw my face and smiled again. He ordered for both of us, choosing delicious food and expensive wine. We talked for a long time. It was easy to talk to him. He asked about my family and my life before the city. I told him about my small town. He told me about his travels to many different countries. For a moment, it felt like we were just two normal people. I started to think that maybe this could be something real. Then he became serious. He put his wine glass down and looked at me with his dark, intense eyes. "Ella," he said softly, "I enjoy our time together. I want you to be with me, not just in the office. My cheeks felt warm. This was what I wanted to hear. But then his next words changed everything. He took my hand across the table. "If you stay with me," he said, "you will never have to worry about money again." I looked at him, confused. "What do you mean?" I asked. He smiled, but it was not a kind smile. "I will take care of everything. You can have a new car, a beautiful apartment, anything you want." The air in the room felt heavy. My chest was tight, and it was suddenly hard to breathe. He was not talking about love. He was talking about a deal. He was trying to buy me. All the happy feelings disappeared. I felt hurt and small. The beautiful restaurant now felt like a cage. I pulled my hand away from his. "I have to go," I said. My voice was quiet and shaking. I stood up from the table. "Ella, wait," Kane said. He looked surprised, but I did not listen. I walked quickly out of the restaurant and into the cold night. Tears ran down my face. I wanted real love, not a life built on money. My heart was broken. Bruce steps in. The next day at the office was difficult. I could not forget Kane's words from the dinner. The sentence played in my head again and again. I sat at my desk and looked at my computer, but I could not see the words on the screen. My mind was a storm of confusion and sadness. Was this what he thought of me? Did he think he could buy my feelings? I felt a heavy weight in my chest. I needed some air. I walked to the small kitchen to get a glass of water. I hoped no one would see my red eyes. I did not want to talk to anyone. A soft voice called my name. "Ella, are you all right?" I turned and saw Bruce. He worked in the marketing department. We did not talk much, but he always had a kind smile. He was not like Kane. Bruce was not rich or powerful. He was just a normal, friendly person. His eyes looked worried. I tried to smile and say I was fine, but my voice was weak. A tear escaped my eye and ran down my cheek. I quickly wiped it away, but he saw it. He did not ask many questions. He just looked at me with understanding. His quiet kindness made me feel even more emotional. "Let's go outside for a minute," he said gently. We walked out of the building and stood in a small, quiet park next to our office. The fresh air felt good. I could not hold my feelings inside anymore. I started to cry, and the words came out. I told him I felt used and cheap. I explained that someone made me feel like an object, not a person. Bruce listened to everything. He did not interrupt. He just stood there, a calm presence in my storm. When I finished, he put a gentle hand on my arm. "You deserve someone who loves you," he said softly, "not someone who thinks they can own you." His words were simple, but they were exactly what I needed to hear. I looked at him, really looked at him for the first time. He was right. Love was not about money or power. It was about respect and care. I felt a small light of hope inside my heart. It was a feeling I had not felt with Kane. I thanked him, and my smile was real this time. When I returned to my desk, I felt a little stronger. But then I saw a new email on my computer. The sender was Kane. The subject was "Don't ignore me." The message was short. "This is not over. You are mine." A cold feeling went through me. Kane was not going to let me go easily. 5. The scandal breaks. I arrived at the office the next morning. Something was very different. People stopped talking when I walked past their desks. Then, as I moved away, they started to whisper again. They looked at me with strange, curious eyes. I went to my desk and tried to focus on my work, but the feeling in the room was not good. I felt like everyone was watching me. What was happening? My coworker, Sarah, came to my desk. She looked very worried. "Ella, have you seen the company's online news page?" she asked quietly. She turned her computer screen towards me. My heart stopped. There were pictures of me and Kane at the expensive restaurant. The title of the article was "Manager's Secret Dinner with Junior Employee." The pictures were everywhere. I felt sick. My face was hot with shame and I could not breathe. Suddenly, my boss's door opened with a loud noise. "Ella, in my office, now," he shouted. His face was red and he looked extremely angry. I walked into his office on weak legs and he closed the door hard behind me. "What is this?" he asked, pointing to his computer screen. The pictures were there. "This is a huge problem for the company. Our clients will see this. You have damaged our company's good name. This is very unprofessional behavior." I wanted to explain that it was not what it looked like, but no words came out of my mouth. My world felt like it was breaking into a million small pieces. I left his office and ran to the empty break room. I sat down in a corner and put my head in my hands. How did this happen? Who took those pictures? Who sent them to the news page? Then Kane came in. He looked worried and his face was pale. "Ella, I promise you I did not do this," he said quickly. "I would never hurt you like this." I looked at him. I wanted to believe him, but after his offer of money, I did not know what was real. "I don't know who to trust anymore," I said, my voice shaking. He tried to say more, but I stood up and walked away. I could not speak to him right now. The whispers in the office felt louder than before. I heard someone say I was only with Kane for his money. Tears ran down my face. Just then, Bruce came to my side. He did not ask any questions. He just gave me a small, kind smile. "Don't listen to them, Ella," he said softly. "I'm here for you." He stood next to me like a shield, protecting me from the looks and the cruel rumors. In that dark moment, his quiet support was the only thing that felt real and safe. 6. Kane's dark truth. My phone did not stop buzzing. It was Kane. He sent me many messages. He said he needed to see me and explain everything. I did not want to see him. I was still angry about the pictures and the problems at work. But his messages sounded very sad. He begged me to meet him just one time. I finally said yes. We decided to meet at a small, quiet cafe. When I walked in, Kane was already there, waiting at a table in the corner. He looked different. He was not the strong, confident manager from the office. He looked tired and his eyes were full of worry. He stood up when he saw me. We sat down, and for a few moments nobody spoke. Then Kane broke the silence. "Ella, I am so sorry," he said. His voice was low and soft. "What I said at the dinner, my offer about money, it was wrong. I was scared." He told me he was afraid of losing me. He then told me about his past. He explained that his family was always rich. Because of this, he never knew if people really liked him. His friends often used him for his money. The women he dated were only with him for expensive gifts and a rich life. "No one ever wanted just me," he said sadly. "They only wanted what I could give them. I learned that money was the only way to make people stay." He looked at me and his eyes were wet with tears. "But you are different, Ella. With you, I felt something real for the first time. I started to love you, and that scared me. I thought you would leave me too, so I did a stupid thing. I offered you money because it's the only way I know I truly love you." I saw the pain in his eyes. I believed he was telling the truth. He was a man who did not know how to love correctly. I felt a little sorry for him, but I also remembered the hurt he caused. The trust was broken. My heart was confused. I looked out the window. Bruce was waiting for me across the street, just like he promised. He was ready to take me away from all this chaos. Seeing him made me feel stronger. I stood up. I had to leave. I walked out of the cafe and left Kane alone. 7, choosing my heart. The next few days were very difficult. My head was full of thoughts about Kane and Bruce. After I left the cafe with Bruce, he did not ask many questions. He just made sure I was safe at home. He was always so kind. Now, I had to make a very big decision. My heart felt heavy, and I could not sleep well for 2 nights. I thought about the 2 men and the 2 different lives they offered. A life with Kane was a life of power and passion. It was full of expensive dinners, beautiful clothes, and a lot of money. He said he loved me, and I saw real pain in his eyes. Maybe he was telling the truth about his past, but he tried to buy me. He used his money to control things. Could I ever feel safe with him? Could I trust that his love was real and not just another way to own something? The thought made me feel cold inside. Then I thought about Bruce. A life with Bruce was a life of peace and honesty. He did not have a lot of money. He could not buy me expensive gifts, but he gave me something more important. He gave me his time and his kindness. He protected me from the rumors at work. He listened to me when I was sad. With Bruce, I felt respected. I felt like myself. He did not want to own me, he wanted to know me. His love felt quiet and true, like a warm, safe home. I spent one more day thinking, what did I really want? Did I want a big house, or did I want a happy home? Did I want passion that was like a storm, or did I want love that was like a calm sea? I knew the answer. My heart knew the answer. I called Bruce and asked to see him. We met at a small park near my apartment. I looked at him and said, "I choose you, Bruce. I choose love." A big smile appeared on his face. We started our relationship that day, a relationship built on trust, not on gifts. The next day, I had to talk to Cain. It was hard. I told him my decision. I said, "I am sorry, Cain, I cannot be with you." His face was sad. He was heartbroken, but he did not get angry. He just nodded slowly. He finally understood. "You are right," he said quietly. "Real love cannot be bought." I felt sad for him, but I also felt free. I chose my heart, and it was the right choice. 8, a new beginning. Months passed. The city changed from cold winter to warm spring. My life changed too. The difficult times were over and everything felt calm. The heavy feeling in my chest was gone. I felt light and happy. Every morning I woke up with a smile, not with fear. Life was quiet, and I liked it that way. Bruce and I moved into a small apartment together. It was not a big, fancy place, but it was our home. The sun came through the windows in the morning and made the rooms feel warm. We painted the walls a bright, happy color. We did not have a lot of expensive things, but our home was full of love and laughter. We enjoyed the simple moments. We cooked dinner together in our small kitchen. We watched movies on the sofa on rainy nights. These small, quiet times with Bruce were more important than any rich gift. I did not need a big house or expensive clothes to be happy. I just needed him. I still worked at the same office. Going back was not easy at first, but now I walked in with my head held high. The people in the office did not whisper about me anymore. The scandal was old news. They saw that I was happy with Bruce, and they respected me. I was not the same person. I was stronger now. I did my work well and felt proud. One afternoon, a coworker told me that Cain was gone. He left the company and moved to another city. He wanted a new start. When I heard this, I did not feel anger or joy. I just felt peace. I hoped he would find happiness one day. I hoped he learned that real love cannot be bought with money. He was part of my story, but he was not my future. My future was with Bruce. Our love was real and honest. We built our relationship on trust and kindness. With him, I was not afraid. I finally learned that love is worth more than all the money in the world. My heart was free.